Oh, this is the one where a bear tears into a landed plane to get the food. When the pilot returns, sees the damage, but uses duct tape to repair it and flies out of there.
It's a crazy tale that sent the internet into a tailspin. The story goes that an Alaskan local stumbles upon a stranded plane, tears apart the aircraft, presumably searching for a free lunch, and wanders back into the woods to do what bears do. And our pilot returns to find he's not flying anywhere.
Well, that sounds like a classic. It's perfect for us.
I totally agree.
It's no myth that the decay of waste inside sewers makes them the perfect breeding ground for combustion. However, could a stray spark trigger an epic explosion and send manhole covers skyrocketing? Could a manhole ever turn missile?
Well, I'm not sure why that would be the case, but let's test it.
It's unusual that a complex mathematical paradox is named after a game show host. But this counterintuitive problem has puzzled number crunchers for years. After a door selection is made, the host always opens one of the remaining 2 doors and then gives the contestant a chance to stick with their original choice or switch to the other unopened door. Which leaves us with a 2-part myth. Supposedly, people overwhelmingly decide to stick, and apparently, it's better to switch.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get shipwrecked.
Okay.
To survive being marooned in the tropics, there are a series of life and death challenges that the Mythbusters, like any castaways, simply have to overcome. The only difference for Adam and Jamie is that they have to overcome them using primarily duct tape. And to get started, there's 2 things they're going to need.
Our boat design is pretty straightforward. It's basically going to be a canoe. It's going to be about 20 feet long. This should be plenty of room for both me and Jamie and all the provisions we're going to need for our ocean journey. The canoe will also have an outrigger for stability. Its frame is going to be made out of bamboo, and it's going to be skinned in several layers of duct tape.
But in the real-world gender wars, do these neurological subtleties lead to actual advantages? Well, there's only one way to find out.
Ooh, this is gonna be awesome to test.
It's a classic scene from the silver screen. In the movie Body of Lies, a band of highly organized SUV-driving bad guys kidnap our hero by cleverly cloaking their movements from a high-altitude spy drone with a dust cloud. But can a manufactured-by-motor dust storm really blind state-of-the-art military technology?
But is that true? Can a shockwave from an explosion actually push you further than you can jump on your own? Cool.
It's a bombastic scene straight from the blockbusters. Escaping an imminent explosion, the hero leaps into the air. And the force of the blast gives them a superhuman boost. But are these filmic physics bang on? Or is this a mission implausible?
Okay, that does actually make me feel better. I thought it might.
So, it's a duo of driving myths. Could it really be possible that driving under the influence of a very full bladder is just as bad as driving when you're drunk? But first up, could it be true that certain types of footwear will turn you into a hazard on the highway?
You're wondering how fast you have to drive with square wheels in order to get a smooth ride.
Yeah.
That's great. I think we should put it to the test.
It may have come from the Heineman's mind, but it's also going gangbusters on the fan site. Because according to the myth, at a fast enough speed, the difference between square and round wheels would disappear. But can this really be true? Or is this a myth that's headed back to square one?
Some of the time, at least.
By rattling their cage, this band of buccaneers swings to the cliff. But do the filmic physics check out? Could you really create enough momentum to swing high and then peg-leg it up a precipice?
This could be the best James Bond myth we've ever tested.
Upside down with nowhere to go, 007 seems down for the count. But by deploying his rocket-powered passenger hot seat, he flips his way to freedom. But is this rocketry real, or is this myth on thin ice?
So, this guy was working in a Russian chemical factory, and he left his van over the weekend. There was a chemical leak. The van became filled with a mystery concoction of different gases, oxygen, hydrogen, propane, methane, who knows. So, He comes out after the weekend to unlock his van with his key remote. Boop, boop, bang. The van explodes.
All right, so then the kicker is nobody knows for sure if this thing worked?
Exactly. The evidence is really, really poor, so it's up to us to test it.
Roaring to life in 14th century China, the Fire Dragon was supposedly the world's first two-stage rocket missile. Stage 1 used 4 rockets to get airborne. Stage 2 would then fire off 10 rocket arrows directly towards its target. But is this ancient anecdote accurate, or is this myth going down?
All right,